collective rage and anger seems to be a theme, you think? You think there's a little collective rage and anger floating around right now? And what's underneath that? And we're not going to intellectualize it. Understanding is good, you know, give the left brain its due. But let's grow the corpus callosum, the bridge between the hemispheres. Yes, let's grow that. Maybe the filling in of the divide, the big divide between our hemispheres, is the unification of the left and the right, the up and the down, the in and the out, as within, so without. So I spent, when I was in my first Saturn return, 29 years old, again, I'm not an astrologer. I'm kidding. If you get too stuck into astrology, I call it astrolling, astrology. Joke, relax. Astrology is absolutely accurate. If you want to read the best reading, explicar, best explanation, sort of keeping it in perspective, read Yogananda's Autobiography of a Yogi, Sasi and the Three Sapphires chapter. Sasi and the Three Sapphires. Read that chapter about astrology. We're here to defeat our planets or to integrate our planets. We're not here to avoid them. Oh, Mercury's retrograde, I have to stay in bed. No, 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 no. Yogananda used to say, occasionally he'd have, in Vedic astrology, whew, that's off the chart accurate. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but here we go. I guess it's happening. A little bit. When I was in India the second time as a young dude, I was 21 or something, Indra Devi, most people have forgotten about her, but the yogis, some of the yogis center still know who she is. Look her up, Indra Devi, Russian-born in an aristocratic family there during the Russian Revolution, married a Swedish business magnate, lived in Argentina, spent time in India for years and years and years. When I was in India, I met her at an ashram through a friend who said, Indra Devi's here. She's the mother of yoga. All the yoga, look, hot yoga and Bikram and all that, that's much later. She started the first ashrams in Southern California or the Mexico border. Ensenada, I forget where it was. Anyway, the mother of modern yoga, Indra Devi. She told me once, she pulled me, I didn't know who she was, I'm just a young kid, you know. And she had stayed out of the collective consciousness, which may be a smart idea, and I might come around to that on this video here, the collective rage and how to sidestep it. Dance a little to, what's that song? Let's do the time. Watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, there's some good info in there, some magic messages on how to walk around the collective consciousness, right? So Indra Devi pulled me to the side. It was about 10 of us that went to see her one evening. And she obviously was getting a message from the universe. And she gave me a little card. She said, go see this guy. And it was the Book of Brigu. Now, if you Google it now, I'm not sure the guys that are doing the Book of Brigu that pops up most prominently is the authentic one. I don't vouch for that, so please don't, I'm not endorsing it. Anyway, it's ancient, the Vedic sage Brigu supposedly sat in Samadhi, which is oneness, merging Nirvikalpa Samadhi. I and my Father are one, Jesus says it. When you have ecstasy states, Saint Teresa, when she's pierced, you know, that beautiful statue by Raphael, or I forget who did it, Bernini. The ecstasy of Saint Teresa. St. Joseph of Cupertino used to float skyward in his monastery because he was so caught up in the ecstasy. I've been having some, I'm not floating off the ground yet, not that I can recall, Your Honor, but I'm having the upriver, I call it the upriver, where the energy is like flowing up inside you and you're starting to turn into air. We're all destined for this. And anyway, Indra Devi told me, go see this astrologer, this Vedic astrologer, the Book of Brigu, which is unbelievably accurate. I told him my name and my birthday, that was it, and he proceeded to tell me details of my life. He was just a computer operator. But the Book of Brigu, so astrology predicts the past and the future, totally. But most of it, as usual, is crap. 85%, it's worse than the 80-20 rule. It's the 85-15 rule. 85% of car salesmen are horrible. 85% of politicians are horrible. 85% of astrologers are horrible. 85% of the gurus, avatars, and divine mothers are not. Right? 85% of it is garbage or misinformation, mistakes. Unreal, lead us from the unreal to the real, one of the most ancient prayers. So, in this time of boiling out, one of the main things that's going to boil out is our fear. But before you get to the fear, it's rage. You know that, fight or flight. Someone triggers you, fight or flight. Fight is the rage and the anger, flight is the fear and the terror. So we have a war on terror, which is a collective war. We're hoping we can shove down our terror and not have to feel it and heal it. How's that working for us? Doesn't work, right? So during this time of cleansing, the Bible will say, the waters shall boil. Well, maybe that's your waters. Your living waters are boiling inside us. And at some point, the cleaning has to happen. So the collective rage, collective anger, road rage, shopping cart rage, the latest thing. It's all true. So my first Saturn return on 29, I basically went into depression for a long. I was digging down into deep, old, compacted layers of crudola, sins, if you will, karmas, old experiences, mistaken ideas, so forth, conclusions, wrong conclusions. You know, all of that stuff. When I used to do the soul retrievals with people, all we would do, and the ones for me, I'm not allowed to do them right now, or I can't because I'm too tender with it. I'm doing some personal sessions, just doing the inner body. I just did one yesterday. And I did one about a week ago. Just doing it real slow again, only as spirit directs. Because while we're in the middle of our own boiling, we can't always be as strong as our old identity, our old identity. Be patient with yourself. Gentle my heart. The session I did, or communion with a friend really, you know who you are if you see this video, about a week or two ago, the universe sent me her because he's been going through the exact same experience I did. Exact. Of this purgatory, purging, cleaning, boiling of the waters. Personal boiling of your own waters is the safest thing you can do at this time. Some of you have different assignments, but if it's happening to you, that's the key. Because the collective rage is, like the Leonard Cohen says, you've summoned up the beast, you know, and in the song Anthem, I think, you've summoned up a thundercloud, you know. The collective suppression of anger usually acts out as a world war. Builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up. World War I, builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up. World War II, builds up, builds up, builds up. Armageddon, World War III. That's what the negative path is angling for, the cabals, if you will, to have us degenerate into World War III. But as you noticed recently, there was some magic, a little wisp of the collective avatar, God herself, himself. Hey, Korea, why don't you guys, let's not do that. Let's you guys start talking. But notice your reaction. Many of the, quote, progressive woke people are super angry and triggered, especially by U.S. President Donald Trump. I would suggest that's perfect. Stirring the pot, stirring the pot. To get our rage out. Outrage means I'm outraged. Good. Now keep getting it out. Because if you don't get it out, you act it out. It's always, he was such a nice neighbor. And then he snapped, killed his family, and poisoned the waters for the whole city. How many times have you heard that story? We can't understand why he was so quiet and so, because it was all suppressed. You need to get your rage out. So at this time, the collective rage is surfacing. But it's actually really good. It's much better than going to war. And in my opinion, my vision, seeing, sensing, feeling after, I did a few ayahuasca ceremonies, about 50, and Mother is real for me. And she basically said, look, we're not destroying this planet. I'm not going to let you guys do it. You're not going to shit in your own nest and set it on fire. And so either you purge your stuff or you get relocated. That's kind of what's going on. Oh boy, should I tell it that openly? I don't know. That's kind of what's going on. So this collective outrage, this collective rage, this collective anger is surfacing right now. So be honest with it inside yourself. We're kind of like Linus, that cartoon character in Snoopy, walked around with a cloud. Was that him? I forget. With a cloud over his head, or whoever that was, one of the characters, with always a dark cloud over his head. Well, our astral, oh boy, leaking out the root chakra. There it is. It's a trail of shit. Astrally. Astral. Not, anyway. We all walk around, we carry our realities with us. How many times have you heard someone say, or you've noticed, in Sedona, I haven't been up there for a year, maybe I'm going here in this next week. They move in up the street, on the street where Joy and I are, about 3-4 houses up the street. Someone moves in from California, they build their dream house after working their asses off in the corporate world, beating the shit out of themselves and their bodies and maybe other people. They build their dream house and they're all excited. And I'm like, I give it about a year. Sure enough, a year and a half later, they're gone. Why? Because you can't stop the wheel of stress, by running from it. You have to stop, face it, feel it, forgive it, free it. Face it, feel it, forgive it, free it. Occasionally in your anger, you might add the 5th F, which is, fuck it. But then it means you got to do it again. Collective rage and anger right now are going to be part of the deal for a while. It's the boiling of the waters. So, if you lose and you act it out in an Antifa demonstration with some super patriots and you both kill each other, that's your choice. And sometimes the spiritual people go, put them in a cage and let them kill each other, right? Right? But you're still involved with it, right? For you to get rid of your own personal cloud of your astral trail, you have to do it inside your own cells, your own DNA, your own mentation, your own thoughts, your old wrong conclusions, your old programming. You have to upgrade yourself. You can look at other people upgrading their computers, and yours is full of viruses, but if you don't take care of your computer, clean the viruses out, what do you got? You can't go on the internet. You can't get on the inner heart-connected net that's connected to everything. You can't do it. Which is why I kind of focus on individual healing first, and occasionally, even though the most popular thing, if I wanted hundreds of thousands of viewers, and I'd be doing the conspiracy thing. But that's going to die. The conspiracy thing is still got a blaminess in it. Blame is lame. We're still blaming the cabals. You need to get outraged, though. That's an important step. What's that saying? The truth will set you free, but at first it will really, 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 really piss you off. Good. Be semi-conscious during that phase so you don't start throwing Molotov cocktails or, you know, telling everyone in your family, fuck off, you're all asleep, or isolating yourself, you know. Be smart. Okay. I'm trying to wake up in the midst of a prison camp. It kind of feels like that sometimes, or a matrix. How do I do that? I'm finding the inner body for me. It's a technique that's an ancient Shiva technique. I did it for 2 hours this morning. And that's just to keep things flowing so I don't have soul tartar buildup at this point for me. It might get better here in a few months, but it is what it is. You got to take care of it. So the collective rage is going to boil. Mother Earth is not going to allow, and neither are his Father God or the Space Brothers or whatever you want to call it or believe it has, our galactic family. They're not going to allow us to blow this planet up because the planets have sentient consciousness as well. Our sun is alive, our planet's alive, thank you, St. Francis, Father, Sun, Sister, Moon. I know about the moon, artificial object and all that, hollow, Maldak, sure. But anyway, big story around that. So, as the collective boiling of rage and anger is happening, it's actually very helpful because it's the asleep collective. Hi, it's the 1950s. Father knows best. Everything is beautiful. You know, all that suppression while Susie's getting molested in the basement, while my gay son, I'm beating the shit out of him in the backyard. You know, all that suppressed stuff. That looks good, but you go off to World War II. Or you need to create a war, a bloodbath somewhere to bloodlet, scapegoatism. So we're actually trying not to do that now. And we're doing really well. We're doing very well. Korea enjoy 3 years of Dennis Rodman. He's going to save that situation. He's being used of the universe. He's the fool. That's often how it needs to look. Because nobody shoots clowns. It's court jester, see? So the fool and the clown is good protection sometimes. So, as the collective rage, you can pray for to gentle your heart, gentle the beast, Ferdinand the bull, but not avoid. So it's a two-step process. You need to get the rage out and gentle your heart. You get it out, you got to throw it up. First thing ayahuasca does with people is let's puke and shit and get as much toxins or energy-wise we can get out of you. And then maybe we can give you something new. So this collective rage needs to come out through outrage. But watch it. If it's too suppressed, it flips into murderous action or murder, really, which is what war is. So set your intention for, I want my rage out of me, and I want to gentle my heart. Wise heart, not stupid Pollyanna heart, wisdom heart. That's going to be a funky ride. You know? Accept that. You're going to feel a little schizophrenic at times, or you're like, what the fuck is going on? Your little world of plans of mice and men, you're not going to be able to hold it together very much. So be patient with ourselves, the patience that we are. A friend of mine recently told me, he said, yeah, I have ego eruptions, but I just watch them. I forgive them automatically, blanket forgiveness. I don't self-judge yet, and then I apologize to people. If there were people around, I have to. My intention is for freeing, for freedom. My intention, if you're into revenge, good luck with that. But if you're into freedom, even if you're acting out, fuck you, or I hate you, or you hurt me, or whatever, in the midst of that, have a seed of, I really just want out of this. I want it to be cleared out of my body. I did that once with my dad. I just let all my little 5-year-old boy just come out. You fucking hurt me, all that stuff, right? But while it's happening, I had the intention of, I don't want to hurt him back. I mean, I wanted to. My ego wanted to. I'll show you what it's like, what you did to me, you know, all that, right? But underneath it, I had a sense of, I really just want this cleared. I want it out. I want to complete it, be finished with it. That's when forgiveness, true forgiveness, peace beyond understanding, the gentling of the heart can occur. So the collective unconsciousness, the collective rage right now, you can't escape from it. Whatever part you have in it, you're going to have to deal with yourself. But be careful about getting involved collectively. The collective kills people. Hello, John Lennon, JFK, RFK, Martin, MLK, Gandhi, Olof Palme, etc., etc., Kurt Cobain, etc., Chris Cornell, etc. Let's not go too deep into those conspiracies. All right? The collective will kill people, so careful. That's why I'm kind of backing down a little bit on, thinking I need to be out there and doing seminars and stuff. Get your rage out. Meditation, yoga, walking the dog, talking to nature, hugging trees, walking barefoot, eating right, communion, do the inner body. InnerBodyAwakening.com is the best. It's the only thing that's keeping me alive at this point, the last year. And then the alchemy process, step number 2. And then gentle in my heart. Gentle in the sense of a verb, an action. I want to gentle it. Gentle my heart, universe. After, get the rage out, let in the gentleness. Let the rage out. See, Jesus had that rage he had to purge at the end, right? Kicking the banksters out of the temple. Get the bleep out of my Father's house, you fuck. That wonder what he actually said, right? And of course, he got triggered by the collective violence, and they got him, right? So the collective beast will get you unless you step out of that matrix and work on getting your own rage out and wisely touch or not touch the world. That's the shaman Don Juan says. Wisely touch the world, lightly touch the world, disappear, be in the world but not of it. This is what your training is right now. All right, much love. I can talk about it a lot, but hope that makes some sense. If you're interested in feeling that there's other people going through similar awakenings, the webcasts on Sundays, tobiaslars.com. Sign up for the webcast if you want. It's affordable for everybody. It's $15 per webcast if you get 10 of them, or 17 if you get 5 of them, or 20 or whatever it is. And I still need to do money while we're doing money. Someday we'll be done with money, but we're not done with money at this point. And I recommend start with the Inner Body Awakening. I'm going to be adding a third, there's 2 versions of the Inner Body there, one with music, one without. I'm going to be adding a longer one as well, so when you get it, as they upgrade that in the next month or 2, that'll be included. You just get all the upgrades. All right, much love. That's enough for now. Let's see if I can remember how to use this iPhone. Every day you're like, hello? This is not my planet. This is not my wife. This is not my house. This is not my life, right? You're trying to remember or coalesce some personality. Okay, stop talking, Tobias. That's too much truth. All right. See you later. Bye. Much love.